The objectives of this particular discussion would be limited to understanding the difference between customer and consumer, define the term consumer behavior. We'll also be able to know the characteristics of consumer behavior. Explain the scope of consumer behavior. You'll be able to explain the process of buying behavior that is followed by the consumers. And you'll all be, also be able to understand the importance of consumer behavior, as well as you'll be having the understanding of the interdisciplinary nature of consumer behavior. So let's start with understanding the difference between the customer and consumer behavior, because we don't call this subject as something customer behavior. So why means, as customer is also a term that is prevalent in the marketing. So why not customer behavior? Why we call it consumer behavior? So for that purpose, we you need to understand what is the difference between these two terms. Only then you will be able to understand what is a consumer behavior. So Peter F. Drucker says the purpose of any business is to create a customer. So it is the customer who determines what a business is. It is the customer and he alone who, through being willing to pay for goods or services, converts economic resources into wealth and things into goods. So means knowing who customer is really important. So the term customer basically refers to someone who regularly buys from a particular shop or store. So we generally use this term in relevance with their regular visit to a particular shop or to a particular retail outlet. So the person who generally visit a single shop, who generally patronize a single retail outlet, they are called as the customer of that particular retail outlet. So in this parlance, we use the term customer. Now, the term consumer is more generally refers to anyone engaging in any activities of evaluating, acquiring, using, or disposing of goods and services. So, consumer not only include those who are purchasers of economic goods and services, but also who are potential adopters of these services, ideas, or philosophies. By this, I mean someone who follows the Arya Smash or the Urdu Academy. They are, because consuming the free services of these institutions, they are also called as consumers because they are consuming the services being offered by them. So you should be clear about the thing that anyone who evaluates, who engages themselves in any of these activities are called as consumers, and we are not means this particular activities are not limited to only commercial activities, that is purchase of goods or services. So we also include the free services as well. So in study of CB, the primary attention is towards ultimate consumer and individual buyer. So here we are not concerned about the customer. We are concerned about the main focus of the study of consumer behavior is always on the final consumer or the individual buyer. So, but this is not an easy task. It's not easy to study consumer behavior because buyer is selective about any information. They ignore certain ideas and information. They does not follow any fixed rules while taking or buying decisions. Um, Consumers are influenced by social environment in which they live, and there are many models that have been given to explain it, but no theory so far has been accepted universally. So buyer's behavior, we can say, is a puzzle. And so for India is concerned, it is further complicated because of diversity in languages, religions, social customs, habits, literacy, and in population. So the behavior of consumers from one state to another state varies. So we know that India is a country of diverse religions and languages. So particularly in case of India, in context of India, this the study of consumer behavior becomes very difficult. So another difference between customer and consumer that is being that sometimes is taken as that the customer is someone who buys the product and the consumer is one who buys who uses the product. So I'll explain it with the help of an example. Let's say that a father buys a laptop for his son. So in this case, father is just a customer because he just bought the laptop. He won't use it for himself. So he has given the laptop to his son who need it for means study purposes. So his son is the final consumer of the laptop. So this is the another difference between the customer and consumer. So the only purpose of studying this difference between customer and consumer is to know means who consumers are, and then only you will be able to understand the what is meant by the consumer behavior. So another thing that is relevant here is that means the consumer behavior varies from state to state, from country to country, from one region to another region, because consumer behavior is influenced by many of the factors. So now we need to understand what is the relevance of studying consumer behavior. So why there is a need to study the consumer behavior? So it's a very important question that need to be asked. Only then we can move ahead, because if you'll realize the importance of studying it, only then you will be able to understand the concept. So there are a number of reasons for studying consumer behavior. So in today's era, marketers are forced to explore the possibilities of reaching out to his customers within the confines of their comfort zones in order to understand and study the new emerging technology savvy consumers and his behavior. Why so? Because in today's era, consumers are like buying online as well. They are not always going offline to the markets for searching and buying the consumer. So most of the time, most of the or during this pandemic era, the people who were not earlier used to buying online, they were forced to buy online, and now they are like used to of their comfort zones, of buying in their comfort zones. So the modern marketer understands that the marketing has moved beyond the traditional four P's. So traditional four P's were product, price, place, and promotion. So there are many other P's that have been added into the traditional four P's, and so the definition of marketing mix has to be redefined. So the marketer of today wants to understand the following additional features and the characteristics of their consumers and the markets by way of studying consumer behavior. And those characteristics are these listed over here. The first one is consumer source or sources of information. So means consumers collect information from various sources. It could be the traditional sources. So it could be the commercial sources like the advertising, etc. It could be the personal sources of the people. So generally, people prefer gathering information from their personal sources. By personal sources, I mean the people they are related to, like their friends, family, or this search it from the website or internet, or they might use all of these together. So it is quite important for the marketer to know from where their consumers are gathering the information, so that they can make the information available on the right platform, so that it is available to their consumers. Next is consumers' perception about the manufacturers. So, what does the consumer think about the product or its producer, and what kind of perception he holds about the competitor producer and his products? This is of utmost importance to the marketers. So, they need to understand where their product is placed in comparison to their competitors' product by the consumers. Next is consumer's perception of his own need and its satisfaction. So this means what is the actual need of the consumer? Is the consumer himself aware of their need? Does he need a stimulus to remind him of his need? How intense is his desire to fulfill the need? Does he know that his need will be satisfied by the product available? If not, what more is needed to educate him on the products and their efficacy to give him a feeling of satisfaction? So, we need to understand the consumer's perception of their own need and satisfaction in order to know whether they need any help from the marketer's side to make them aware of their needs or not, or are they already aware of their needs and wants. Next is consumers' way of using and consuming the products and services. So today's marketers are keen to study the ways and styles used by the consumers to use and consume the product in order to learn as well as educate the consumer on the correct uses. So this is basically a two-way process wherein the marketers learn about the consumers' habits, uses, patterns, and other consumptions peculiarities, and then educate them as to how to bring about improvement in them to draw better satisfaction from the products or services on the offer. So this is of utmost importance because if the consumer after buying the product, they don't know the how to use those products or services, they will never be satisfied with those products and services just because of their inability to use that product or service. So the marketers also want to know that whether their consumers are aware of using that product or service, so that if they are not already aware, they should make them aware in using the product and services in order to enhance the better satisfaction of their consumers. Next is consumer sources of buying. So the buying source of consumers. So this means from where they are buying. So either they are buying offline or online. So and their frequency of buying, whether they buy once in a month, ticket twice in a month, twice in a month, or one once in a quarter. So we just need to know the frequency with which they buy the products, and also the reasons for buying. So these are the things that a marketer need to understand, because if the consumers, if our target consumers, they prefer to buy online, and we have made the product available only in the offline market, it will be of no use because the consumer will never come to the offline market. So we have to make the product available wherever they want to buy. So knowing where they'll be buying, how much they'll be buying, when they'll be buying is of utmost importance for the marketers. Next is consumers' adaptability to changing phases of technology. So, how far is the consumer today able to keep pace with the ever changing technology, and how far and how deep has the new technology affected the buying decisions and buying habits of the modern consumers? So, by modern technology, we means the use of internet by the consumers for making purchases, use of the technology based platforms for making payments, like there means apart from cash payment, next we can make payments in a number of ways. We can pay by credit card or by debit card, or we also can pay with the various payment platforms like Paytm, Google Pay, Amazon Pay, etc. So the marketers need to know means how much their consumers have adapted themselves to the newer technological changes, so that they can give the options for payment or the options for purchases accordingly. Next is comprehensive research into consumer behavior. The study of consumer behavior has to be more than mere researching into the buying habits of a consumer. The comprehensive research on consumer behavior has to be a dynamic process that must keep pace with the changes in the behavior of the consumers and his buying habits, his decision making, and his response to the decision influences. Because we here are concerned about the need and want of the consumer, and need and want of the consumer, and the way by which they satisfy their need and wants. Because obviously the need and want is satisfied by making some purchase in form of a product or service. So these need and wants are means keep on changing. So the need and for example, if one need will be satisfied, another need will emerge, and the consumer will start searching for some products that will satisfy those needs and wants. So we should conduct a comprehensive research in order to know what are their current needs and wants, and what are their current buying habits. Last one is effect of globalization on consumer behavior. The current trend in development of globalization of consumer education and the consumer psyche, in addition to the opening of the economies, has created a revolutionary awakening among the consumers of all the countries of the world, particularly in emerging markets of the world. So the consumers in the emerging markets are frequently getting exposed to new innovations in technology. So this wasn't there before the globalization. With the globalization, the national borders are now diminishing. So the products that were not available in our country before globalization are now available. That means we are having a number of options in form of a product or services. So the local brands are competing with the global brands in order to provide us with the better quality. So it is again important to know what effect globalization has put on the consumer behavior. So the consumers in the emerging markets, due to the emergence of the internet or the WW and the widespread reach of the telecommunications and the electronic media, the companies have been educating the consumers to raise their level of expectations from the marketers and their organizations. So before this era of technology or globalization, people were not aware of they were not much aware of the various products and services. They were not aware about their rights. So nowadays consumers are well equipped with the information. So this has been made possible due to the globalization. So we also need to study the effect of globalization on consumer behavior. So next is the introduction to consumer behavior. So I'll explain this with the help of an example. Two friends have gone to the market in a shopping mall. Um, one friend, she bought two free sarees from the retailer outlet, a particular retail outlet. The other friend, she didn't buy anything because she felt that these are high priced. So from this, you can judge that means no two customers are alike. So every people, they see different value in the same product as per their own need and want, and accordingly they make purchases. So next is the meaning of consumer behavior. Consumer behavior has been defined as the study of understanding how the consumers makes decisions about the spending of his limited resources For example, time, effort, and money for such purchases. So, consumer behavior is basically a study, a kind of study that tries to understand how consumers make decisions to spend their resources. And the resources here we are talking about is not only the monetary resources, but the non-monetary resources such as the time of the consumer or the efforts they put in for purchasing a particular product. So the level of effort put in by the different consumers will vary. The time they'll give for making purchases will vary. So in today's era, in today's what happens, most of the people they are working, or we have some families where all the members are working, so they are time starved consumers, so they cannot spend much of their time on searching and purchasing the newer product. But there are some other people who stays at home, they have a lot of time, so they can devote their time. So the level of resources they'll be able to spend will vary. It is a study of what makes him pick up particular services or products and what makes him reject many other services and products on the offer. So you might have seen that all the products that are available in the market, so the product, a single product available from different brands are almost alike. There are fewer variations, so all the basic things are different. So let's talk about in the context of a particular product, let's say a refrigerator. So we buy a refrigerator to store and preserve the food. So all the refrigerator that's been offered by the varied brands, they'll almost offer this particular feature of storing and preserving the food items. But why we pick a particular brand and we reject the other brands? So as a consumer, because the consumer they'll pick up a particular brand only. So what are the reasons for that? So the reasons for finding out this, for finding the reasons, we need to study the consumer behavior. Now coming to the definition part of the consumer behavior. So this definition is given by Leon Schiffman. Consumer behavior is the study of how individuals, groups, and organizations buy, select, and dispose of goods and services, ideas, or experiences to satisfy their needs and wants. So, uh, this consumer behavior is the study of how individual, that means any individual customer is taking the decisions. Groups, sometimes products are such wherein the decisions is taken jointly by a group. For all the consumer durables that we buy, let's say TV, refrigerator, these are the goods wherein the family will jointly decide on which particular brand will buy. But they are if we are buying clothes, then we'll be taking this season individually what kind of cloth I like. Then organizations also purchases, because let's say there is a manufacturing organization who's buying raw material, they also undertake the buying this season process, from where to buy, what to buy, etc. And now we are not only in consumer behavior, the concern is not only about how what they buy, but we the consumer researchers are also concerned about how they select, how they finally make selection out of the varied options available to them, and finally how they dispose of goods and services. Why this is important? In today's time, means there are growing concerns for environment. So means all the marketers they are pressed hard to take care of their planet Earth. So they are concerned about how their consumers will dispose of goods and services after their operating life is over, because they want to make sure that they won't cause any harm to the environment. So most of the companies are now shifting to the recyclable packaging, etc., in order to this, because they don't want to cause any harm to the environment surrounding. So this is here in consumer behavior. It's the concern is not only on goods or services, but also on the ideas or experiences uh, by the consumers in order to satisfy their needs and wants. Next is the characteristics of consumer behavior. So, consumer behavior is something that involve a mental decision process as well as physical activity. So, consumer behavior is something that doesn't only involve the mental exercise to make selection, but the people put in physical efforts also to search for the various options available. So that means it is both a mental as well as a physical exercise to decide on which particular product to buy. And this consumer behavior can be understood by studying disciplines like economics, sociology, psychology, and social psychology. Sound understanding of consumer behavior is essential to the long run marketing program. So, without having the sound knowledge of the consumer behavior, the marketers will never be able to design an effective marketing program. It plays fundamental role in non-profit and social marketing. So, consumer by non-profit or social marketing, we mean wherein we promote the social causes. So, even for those, the consumer study of consumer behavior is quite relevant. Now, CB principles are relevant even for governmental decision making in at least two areas. In firstly, where government policies are those that provide service to the public, and the second one is that result in decisions that influence consumer behavior, like public transport or making a law to protect consumers. So, in these cases, they also need to understand what are the need or want of their consumers. So, means government, while formulating laws, should understand what their people need from them in terms of a law. So, you are well aware of the agitations going on by the farmers, because they are not accepting the law made for farming laws made by the government, because they are giving this clear that they have not been consulted, because they don't want to accept it, because they feel that those laws are not relevant as per their needs and wants. So that's why even for government, while making these decisions, the study of consumer behavior is quite relevant. Next is the scope of consumer behavior. So to define the scope of subject, it is important to set parameters or a framework within which it shall be studied. There is a figure on the next slide that presents the framework for studying consumer behavior. So this is a framework. You can have a look. So this framework is made up of three main sections. First one is decision process. So this is presented by the inner circle. So this is the decision process of the consumers. Second is the individual determinants, that is in the middle circle. So all these elements listed here are the individual determinants. And third is the external environment, which is represented by the outer circle. So the study of all these factors together constitutes the scope of consumer behavior. And otherwise, I'll tell you that this is the whole syllabus. So in the syllabus of consumer behavior, you will cover all these areas. So what is the how consumers decide on which particular product they want to buy, means the buying decision process. Then we'll talk about the various individual determinants, means what are the individual factors that influences the decisions of the consumer behavior, and what are the external influences. So consumer decision making process involves 4 steps, which is problem recognition, information search and evaluation, purchasing process, and the post purchase behavior. In some of the books, you will find there are 5 steps, because they have divided these information search and evaluation into 2 different steps. So either you can write it collectively, or you can take it as 2 different stages. One is information search, second is evaluation, third one would be evaluation of alternatives. Individual determinants are basically the psychological influences on consumer. So the personality of the person influences how they take decisions, the attitude of person, their lifestyle, their means learning, the memory. All these are the factors that influences the consumer behavior. So apart from the individual factors, there are some external influences also. When we take decisions regarding consumption of particular product, the culture we belong to has a great influence on what we buy. So their subculture also, it also has some significant influence on the consumer decision making. And then we have social class, which consists of the then we have social influences, which consist of the social class as well as the reference groups, and the influence of the family, because all these also influences the decision making process of the consumer. So first of all, we'll talk about the consumer decision making process. We'll start with the first step, problem recognition. So problem recognition is basically the step where the consumers become aware of their need. So this is basically a difference between the actual state and the desired state. So where we are before buying the product and where we want to reach after buying the product. So when we identify, so let's say that a student has joined an MBA course, and they find out that for making the assignments and projects, they don't have the sufficient support. And if they while means they this was the problem that student was facing, and to resolve this problem, he started finding out the solution. And then he thought that if he'll buy a laptop, it will be quite helpful for him to make those assignments and projects. So that is the problem recognition stage. So next is the information search and evaluation of alternatives. So at this particular stage, the people, because they have become aware of their particular need and want, they'll start searching for the various alternatives available in the market. So for searching information, they can use varied resources. They can start looking for the advertising on the mass medias, that is the advertising that comes in the newspapers or in radio or at television, or they'll start looking for the advertising on the hoardings, or they may visit the local retail outlets wherein they can get the detailed information regarding the product, and they can search online on the internet. They can go to the websites of a particular company that offers the laptop, and from that they can search the information. Then that student, he may ask the friends who are using laptop that which particular brand's laptop he should buy, and what are the factors he should consider while buying the laptop. Because as a naive person who didn't have any knowledge regarding a laptop, we also need to know what to look for while buying the product. Apart from which particular brand to buy, from where to buy, um, when should we buy, we are also concerned about what to look, what particular features are relevant for making the purchases. So for this, they can get help from any professional. So if there is some means computer teacher in the college, they can ask them, because he'll be having the knowledge of that particular field. So now they have collected the information from the varied sources. So now they'll evaluate. So how will we evaluate? So the student, the consumer, will establish some criteria for evaluating the information. So let's say, first of all, we'll screen out those particular laptop brands which I want to spend only 40,000 on a laptop, say, let's say. So all the brands that are costlier than 40,000, I'll screen out all those information. I'll screen out all those alternatives, because that is something I cannot afford. Okay. So then there were some features I was looking for, like let's say I wanted 6 GB RAM, I want 1 TB of hard disk, so the processor they were using. So based on those information, I'll screen out some other brands which don't have those features available in them. So and then if then we'll decide on whether I should buy online or offline. Okay, so based on these varied criteria, we'll evaluate the brands. Now we have at each of these stages, we'll screen out the ideas. After information search and evaluation of alternatives, and after evaluation of alternatives at purchasing process stage, we might have only one particular brand in mind that we are going to buy. So at purchasing process, we just want to make decisions regarding whether we should buy immediately or we should wait for some particular time. Uh, in case we want to avail some discounts and we know that on a particular month the company will offer discounts, then we can postpone our purchase decision to that time. Okay. So at the process stage, the final decision for the purchase will be taken, wherein we'll decide the time of purchase, the from where to purchase, and how to purchase, means online, offline, or what will be the mode of payment. And so after making all these decisions, we'll finally purchase the laptop. Last stage is the post purchase behavior. So generally what happens, after buying every product, we evaluate whether this product is according to what we thought of before buying the product or not. And if we find that it actually is relevant to what we thought of that product, then we'll feel satisfied. And otherwise, most of the times after buying there is a state of discomfort that is called dissonance, wherein people feel that they have made a wrong decision. Because we had chosen one out of the various options available, and even at the time of purchase, we chosen out of the two alternatives. So we may feel that the one we didn't choose was better than what we have bought. So this particular thought process going on in our mind will cause discomfort. So this is a state called dissonance. So in order to release that discomfort, we might engage in in different kind of activities. So the consumer might ask the company to replace the product because they are not satisfied with that particular product, or they may ask people who are using the same brand, and if they'll say that this particular product is really good, they'll feel good afterwards. They may make complaints. They can start a blog wherein they can write that the company means this product is not good, why it's not good, what were the pros and cons. So there are number of things he can do in order to release the discomfort that was there in his mind. Behavior. So we'll quickly finish this up and then it will be followed by the poll questions. So the first one is the in the importance of consumer behavior. The first point is achievement of goals. So the key to a company's survival or the profitability or growth in a highly competitive marketing environment is the ability of the company to identify and satisfy unfulfilled needs better and sooner than the competitors. And the consumer behavior helps achieving the marketing goals, because this helps knowing the company, the unfulfilled need and wants of the consumers. Next is useful for dealer and salesmen. So the study of consumer behavior helps the middlemen and retailers also. Means middlemen, we mean wholesalers and retailers, to perform their task effectively in meeting consumer needs and wants successfully. Because by the study of consumer behavior, they'll be well aware of what are the need and want of the consumers they are dealing with, and which particular payment mode they'll prefer when they prefer to buy, what are the various occasions whether they prefer to get discounts or not. So by knowing all these things, they'll be able to offer better services to their consumers. Next is adjusting marketing program over time. So consumer behavior studies the response of consumers on a continuous basis. So from this, a marketer can easily come to know the changes taking place in the market. So based on the current market trend, the marketer can make necessary market changes in the marketing program to um, adjust this with the market. So means if the company will not be able to adjust its marketing program over the time, then they may fail miserably. I'll like to quote the case of Nokia here. Nokia was at one point, Nokia was dominating the handset market in India, but over the period they didn't realize that the need of people are changing, so they need better phones with better quality, with newer features that are more relevant with the means newer technology. So by not realizing this, the Nokia failed miserably, and now means it's still struggling for its survival in Indian market, because the other companies launched smartphones much ahead of the Nokia. So so the Nokia had to face the brunt of the consumers, because they afterwards they stopped buying from the company. Next is predicting marketing trend. Consumer behavior also helps in projecting the future market trends, and marketers find enough time to prepare for exploiting the emerging opportunities or facing challenges and threats. because they'll know well in advance that what will happen in future, what will be the preferences of people in future, and accordingly they prepare themselves in advance. Next is consumer differentiation. So there is diversity among consumers. So one segment of consumers needs will be different from the other segment of consumers, and so a separate program need to be designed for each of the segment the company is catering to. So the knowledge of consumer differentiation is the key to design the effective marketing program for each of the market segments. Next is creation and retention of consumers. Those marketers who base their offerings on recognition of consumer needs find a ready market for their products. So, in the same way, the company, due to continuous study of consumer behavior, attempts to meet the changing expectations of the consumers, because they'll be, by studying the consumer behavior regularly, they'll be able to know the change in the, or the shift in the wants of their consumers, and so they'll be able to retain them forever. Next, the knowledge of consumer behavior also helps in fighting the competition, as it because the consumers expectations, based on consumers expectations, more competitive advantages can be offered. So it is useful in improving the competitive strengths of the company. So I told you that most of the products they offered by different brands are almost similar with fewer changes, so that the difference in the products basically offers the advantage over the competitors. So by knowing what is more relevant to the target market they are serving, is the companies create an edge over their competitors. Next is the need, by studying consumer behavior, um, because the newer products are always developed in response to the need and want of the consumers, and by study of consumer behavior they'll come to know, the marketers will come to know that the consumers have a need for some new product, and accordingly they can develop the newer products. Next is the dynamic nature of market. So it focuses on consumer behavior, it basically focuses on the dynamic nature of the market. So it helps the managers to be dynamic, alert, and satisfying in satisfying consumers better and sooner than the competitors. So it make them ready for the changes that are approaching. So because the market is always dynamic, the needs and wants of the people keeps on changing, and the study of consumer behavior equip them in a better manner to be ready for the changes. Last is the effective use of productive resources. What happens at the study of consumer behavior assists the managers to make the organizational effort consumer oriented. It ensures that the exact use of resources for achieving maximum efficiency. So all the resources that are available with the company, the study of consumer behavior helps them putting it to the best use as per the requirement of their consumers. So this is the importance of consumer behavior. Last one is interdisciplinary nature of consumer behavior, that we'll do in the next lecture, because now we have to finish the goals.